Hello YouTube, this is a Wi-Fi battle between me and Sonickirby1. This came out to be a very close battle, and this also, we battled this on Quando Ren 66 live stream. Hope you enjoy. I lead off with Fatty, as I usually do, or with Brock. And he leads off with Aerodactyl. I go for Taunt, because that's Fatty's new move. I'm testing him out as well. And he can't use it, and his Aerodactyl can't use its own Taunt, so I might as well go for my Confuse Ray and start setting up with Fatty. I believe he gets Confuse Hex now. Yep. And it does about an eighth to 4. Not that good in numbers. And I think he predicts my Toxic and switched out Skymarie. I go for Taunt, figuring that he would probably want to start setting up spikes or stuff like that, but he just goes for the Brave Bird and brings me down pretty far, and he takes damage from recoil from Brave Bird. And I believe I go for the Confuse Ray here. Yeah, I go for Confuse Ray. Yeah, this battle isn't that long. It's only 40 turns. So, yeah, I go for Confuse Ray. I believe he gets off his Brave Bird and takes out Batty, which Batty did his job. Just to hinder Aerodactyl for now. Takes recoil damage and pretty much leftovers heal up that recoil damage. I believe I bring in my Electivire here. He has a lot of hacks on his side. He withdraws his Skymarie, and I think I go for Ice Punch. Yeah, I go for Ice Punch. And it does a pretty big chunk to this thing. And then he goes for Earthquake, which gets the power or ground gem boost, which pretty much no matter what would take out Electivire, since he has paper thin defenses. Well, regular defenses, not special defenses. Next, I bring in my Houndoom. I try to predict him to switch out, but he just stays in and goes for another Earthquake, which takes out Doom as well. Next, I send on my Heracross, which is probably my best revenge killer in this whole battle. He goes for Earthquake, and that brings me down to about half. And I go for Mega Horn, and that takes out his Excadrill. And I get my Burn Orb off. And now he brings in his Aerodactyl. He sets up his Stealth Rocks, which are always good to have. And I go for Stone Edge, which hits, and pretty much will take out this Aerodactyl, which is good. Next, he sends in his Garchomp, and I go for Close Combat since it's Stab, and it could. And I was thinking that he was going to bring in Skymarie to take a Mega Line, so I might as well go for Close Combat. And it takes out his Garchomp, and this leaves me with very little health left, with probably about like a couple of health. Next, he brings in his Dusclops, And he goes for Protect, so he can stall me out with Burn. And I go for Night Slash, since it's super effective and will do a lot. He goes for another Protect. I think this Burn kills me, I'm not positive. Yeah, this Burn takes down Cross. And I believe I bring in Crush, which is my Steelix. She takes some damage from Stealth Rocks. I go for Toxic, since I want to stall this thing out. And he goes for Will-O-Wisp, which pretty much hinders Steelix to pretty much just to only go for Stealth Rocks and Toxic now. So, I believe now I set up my rocks. Yep, I set up my rocks. The only thing I thought was weird is that this Death Cloth was slower than my Steelix, and my Steelix is slow as, like, all heck. So, that means this thing must have been even slower. Unless Evilite, like lowers your, like, speed a lot. Which I don't think it does, because Porygon 2 uses it. So I bring in Gluttony, figuring that he pretty much can resist his stab, and can start seeing what else this thing will do. So I believe I go for Wild Charge, figuring that he might possibly want to bring in Sky Marine, but he doesn't. So he just goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which pretty much does nothing. Well, it hinders Snorlax to pretty much not do anything now. So, I believe I use Snorlax's... No, wait, I don't use Snorlax's moves. I go for Wild Charge, which I believe... It doesn't take it out, but it leaves it enough for Poison to take it out. And then... Let's see. Toxic damage takes that out. And then he brings in his Latios. And this becomes a very big stall war between his Latios and my Snorlax. And I think now I go for my new move. No, wait, I get hit by Confusion. I think once or twice. This is actually a bit of a long battle. I might have to actually speed it up a bit. But, yeah, he's mostly trying to stall out my Snorlax. Because they really can't do much to, Latios. And now I use my new move, which is Rest. Because it can help out my, Snorlax become an even better special tank. And I get my health back. And the Snorlax is asleep, like always. He goes for Psychic, which I believe he takes it pretty well, which is good since Latios has a lot of special attack, and he's a special wall. And he goes for another Psychic. And yeah, I'll have to speed this up. I want to speed this up about 7 more turns. And I believe we're still having Snorlax and Latios fight each other. I'm not positive. I'll have to check. Okay, let's get back to the battle when it's done. Skipping ahead. Yeah. Oh. Well, Okay, this part, I pretty much switch in, because with that stall between Snorlax and Gladius, he was using Wish, and Snorlax was mostly just going for a turn. So I switched into Steelix, since he can also resist anything that Gladius wants to do, and try going for Toxic. And then I switch back into Gluttony. And I believe he tries going for Cycle. No, he goes for Wish, so he can get some health back, which is always good. And now he tries going for Cycle Shift. I believe this one misses. I just go for Rest. So since I pretty much wall this thing and make sleep turns just not sleep turns, but poison turns just start racking up. And he gets his Wish, and it brings him back to full. Let me see. He withdraws his Latias and brings in a Skymer again. And it takes some Stealth Rock damage. Gluttony's still asleep, because Snorlax like to sleep a lot, especially Gluttony. And he starts setting up his spikes, which don't matter much in this fight anymore, since Snorlax pretty much wraps up the battle for me. And I believe he just keeps setting up spikes, since he couldn't do that with Crobat. And Gluttony finally wakes up, and I go for a Wild Charge, which does a lot to this thing. And I take a recoil, which isn't a lot. Which it makes Wild Charge pretty good, since it can do a lot of damage to this thing, and also do little recoil. And I go for another Wild Charge, which I'm still surprised that Gluttony is even faster than a Skymarine. He's just a bit slower. Well, he's just a tiny bit faster than Crush. So that's just insane. And now he brings in his last Pokemon, which is his Latias. And we got now he goes for Cycle Shift, which puts his poison on me and takes away his. And I just go for a turn, since with Wish he has to go for Wish first, and or something like that. Now he just goes for, I think it goes for like 2 protects, I believe. I'm not positive. So he goes for 1 more protect, and I believe he goes for another protect to try getting poison damage on me. Yeah, he goes for another protect. Also, he's trying to get leftovers so he could possibly live another free turn. Now he goes for Wish. And I believe I go for a turn now, and I take out his Latias. And this was a very good battle. And also, the only battle I've ever had where my 2 wall Pokemon have just had me win it for me for just stalling out. Rate, comment, subscribe, and the link to my opponent will be in the description below. Thank you.